I was shocked to learn that diet-related chronic conditions are the leading cause of poor health and premature deaths. This statistic tells me that what we eat is one of the most important decisions we can make for our health. Today's sponsor, Zoe, understands this. Zoe is the science and nutrition company that helps people make smarter food choices. Over 100,000 people are already Zoe members, living healthier lives by following their own personalised nutrition program. Zoe membership starts with at-home tests to see how your body responds to food and which good and bad microbes live in your gut. Then Zoe's app uses your test results to create your tailored nutrition program, helping you build healthy habits step by step. And Zoe is proven to work. In a randomized, controlled trial, participating Zoe members reported positive changes to their gut microbiome and were 4 times more likely to report better sleep and more energy. Sounds good, right? Oh, and if Zoe sounds familiar, you're probably among the millions who've tuned into their podcast, Zoe Science and Nutrition. Will you try Zoe membership to improve your health? The first step is easy. Go to zoe.com and take the free quiz and use the code STYLE10 to get 10% off your test kit and membership. That's zoe.com and use the code STYLE10 for your unique discount.
Today, I'm going on a style journey with the world-renowned florist, author and designer, affectionately dubbed the UK's Queen of Flowers, who aims to inspire others to create and nurture through the power of nature. The whimsically wonderful Willow Crossley. Hello and welcome, Willow. So lovely to meet you. I think we've followed each other on social media for forever by the sounds of things, and to actually meet you in person is a real treat. Real treat. I've so loved researching your sort of floral decorations, your interiors and all your beautiful products, and everything seems to me to have a touch of whimsy. How would you describe your style?
God, I find this question so hard, which I know I should have kind of finessed before coming to see you, but I think I think whimsy is a really good word, actually. Yeah. I think a bit mad, a bit colourful, wild, whimsical. Yeah.
And was that always, would you say that was always you as a child growing up?
So fashion-wise we're talking, rather than flower-wise, or just in general?
In general.
I think it's always been a bit erratic. I find it quite hard to pinpoint it because I think I love experimenting. I'm always really drawn to colour and certain aesthetics. So I love kind of bohemian, folksy. That's always been there. But I'm very led by comfort and what fits and temperature. I'm always freezing cold and I live in the country and I work outside most of the time. So I kind of always in my head, I want to look a certain way, but actually in reality, it often doesn't work. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolute, total sense. I mean, did you design flowers or, arrange flowers as a child? Because you grew up in the country, didn't you?
Yeah, I grew up in Wales, very middle of nowhere, and my parents would always garden, my grandparents would always garden, and me and my brothers were like, oh my God, this is so dull, we couldn't bear it. They were always weeding, and so I didn't love it then, but it's definitely now with hindsight, I've absorbed it and the colour, and I guess it's so wild and kind of spacious out there. I think I've absorbed the kind of the outline of shapes and flowers in my everyday life. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. But I know you've worked as a floral designer for 10 years. Mm-hmm. What ignited that passion in you?
So fashion was always my thing. I went to the London School of Fashion, and I wanted from as little as I can remember, I wanted to be a designer.
Did you make clothes back then?
Yeah, really badly, but with a needle and thread. And I was talking to my mum about, before I came to see you, kind of trying to remind me about things, and she was saying that when I was quite young, I got a mannequin, the kind of shop mannequins for my birthday, and she was called Tulip, and and they gave me this kind of like meters of fabric, and I remember this red satin and like complete mishmash, not like proper clothes, and I would kind of make these mad creations on Tulip, and then if she was being difficult, I'd make my brothers wear these outfits too.
But so did you pin on tulip, or did you drape and then sew?
Pin, drape, sew, a complete mishmash. And they were always terrible. And I'd have these notebooks that I would draw really bad drawings in. And they were always bonkers, the stuff, not stuff that we'd ever really wear.
But it all has to start somewhere. So that would sort of igniting your creativity.
Yeah, and I'd spend all my pocket money on magazines. Like every single penny were gone, and I would sit there for hours and kind of close catalogues, kind of like the Bora catalogue, all those ones that pop through our doors. And I would sit with my mum and we would go through them and analyse every single one. And that's a real kind of memory of my childhood, was that. And I think more and more, the more I did, the more I loved it. And I was so fussy from day one about what I would wear. My mum couldn't dress me in anything. And one of my kind of earliest memories is she put me in a kind of, I think it was Patricia Wiggin. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And it was so itchy and tight. And my mum was at Vogue for years in kind of fashion and then beauty. And I was her only girl. She then had 2 boys, and she would always try and make me look lovely in these gorgeous, really chic outfits. And I was having absolutely none of it.
So this was an early knowledge within you that you knew what you wanted.
Yeah, she said I was an absolute nightmare.
And do you remember the first time you put something on and it made you feel really good, though?
There was this hideous pink tracksuit that a friend of ours took me to London. So I was in Wales, so it was like big day out. And my mum said I came home with this light pink 2-piece tracksuit that said cool on the front of it. And she said she didn't know what to do with herself, and I refused to take it off. And I think that was my first true love.
And how old were you at the time?
4.
4? Go away.
Yeah.
But that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And that's very young.
Really young. So I think I knew more what I didn't like. So nothing tight, nothing restrictive. I'm really particular about textures and tightness and itchiness.
But do you think that's because you're pale-skinned and quite sensitive-skinned, so you're particularly aware of that?
Maybe. But with tightness, I can't do anything remotely tight, and I would love to. I'd love to be able to wear I'm very drawn to that 70s kind of flares, but it has to be loose. I can't do it. So in my head, I have these outfits I'd love to, but I just can't.
And did you ever, in your styling times, sort of put that aesthetic onto someone that you were styling just because you loved the aesthetic?
Yeah, and all my pictures that I would draw were always that kind of tiny little crop tops and skin-tight jeans, and which I would never wear in reality.
Well, you'd be perfect for the Taylor Swift tour, wouldn't you?
My God, I would. I'm desperate to go on that.
But would you say, because you grew up in the middle of the countryside, so were you in proper country, warm clothing? Yeah,
my kind of memory of childhood is wearing hideous pink leggings. I had this pair of white leggings with pink roses on.
So we'll tick that for the worst fashion moment.
Yes. And I've got these pictures, and I was wearing them all summer with a kind of pink hoodie. disgusting. But no, there was quite a lot of kind of gingham dress. It was very outdoorsy, and I think I just wore kind of what was there. It wasn't a big thing. We didn't kind of go shopping. One of my other earliest memories is going to Miss Selfridge when I must have been 12. Do you remember Miss Selfridge?
I do. I loved Miss Selfridge. It was my absolute go-to place.
It was so good.
And I'm not your age.
And there was this, so Shrewsbury was the town where we would go shopping, and I'd be dropped off, and I'd have an hour or so to myself shopping, and I'd go top shop in Miss Selfridge, and I bought a pair of flares, black jersey flares for £8, and they were the coolest things. And I think that was probably the start of my obsession. My grandfather died. This is so awful. I can't actually believe I'm saying this. My grandfather died, and I wasn't allowed to go to the funeral, but because I was too little.
Of course.
But my only memory is I had a nanny called Tracy who I just loved, and she had these white stilettos. And I just remember wanting to go to the funeral wearing her stilettos, traipsing around the landing outside the bathroom.
And how old were you then?
God, I don't know. Little. 5, 6, 7.
Oh my
I
God.
can't do numbers, but I was young. But that's one of my earliest memories, thinking, God, I'm going to be so chic in these white stilettos.
Talking about young, were you ever a bridesmaid?
14 times.
14. Oh
Yeah.
my God. So
Yeah.
tell me, what was the worst dress?
The worst. There was a... God, I feel really mean saying this.
You don't have to say who it was for.
It was just really boring. It was this shot silk kind of creamy bronze with a plaited brown and green waistband, and it was quite sharp angles, whereas I like everything to be flowing. I was not impressed with that. And a kind of big puffy Alice band. Never got that either. But mine had this incredible one, which was like a turquoise flower fairy. So that we had petals for the skirt and petals on the arms. It was the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. And all the page boys were dressed as little soldiers in red.
Now, when you look back on that,
Yeah.
is it still the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, or were you looking at it through the filtered eyes of a child?
I think I loved it at the time and I love it now.
Lovely.
It was just so cool.
Yeah.
Really. And I remember the flowers. We had these huge flower crowns in the hair and carried these
Did you
little
love
garlands.
those?
Loved them.
Yeah.
Loved them. Mm.
It's funny, isn't it? These early sartorial and style and sensual memories that we have, they're wonderful things that really ignite stories.
Yeah, and it's funny until you kind of start talking about it. Like I hadn't remembered any of those until you kind of reminisce and you go over them and
It's a good
things
old
pop up.
style psychology.
Yeah.
Now, you moved to London and then went to work after London College of Fashion, you went to work both in Vogue and Tatler.
Yeah.
Do you remember, was there a stylist or there that you were particularly influenced by
Very
their
much so.
style?
Yeah, so Lucinda Chambers was like my god. And I just loved her, the way she dressed, her shoots. I just thought they were always so mad and colourful, and I just thought it was the best. She was the best thing in the world. And so I went. I shouldn't really even say I worked at Vogue because I was literally stuck in the cupboard doing returns for months on end.
So you're responsible for me not getting back certain samples.
No, it's very good. I'm very efficient. But yeah, that was my kind of dream. I thought it was just like this magical world. And I did that.
Even stuck in the cupboard.
Yeah, I mean...
Because you were seeing so many amazing creations.
Yeah, I was dressing up for work. I can still remember the feeling of my first day there and trying to work out what the hell to wear.
I cannot imagine the pressure of that. What did you wear? Do you remember?
Yeah, I wore this... It was a light blue, quite like your colour you're wearing now, wool cardigan from Whistles, and it had little diamante buttons with kind of embroidered, that's so on me, crystals, and it was December, so it felt quite Christmassy in a kind of cool way. And then jeans, and I weirdly can't remember my footwear. I had some amazing hot pink suede, like, what are they called? My brain. Those slouchy boots. Like pirate boots.
Oh, yes.
Like those, but they wouldn't have worked with the jean. Maybe they were the next day. But the excitement of dressing up and going to work every day, and everyone was wearing heels all day long.
And it was an era when people did wear heels all day long. So tell me, when you were in the cupboard at Vogue House, how often did you try on those designer clothes?
I don't think ever.
Really?
It was too scary. No.
Wow.
It was because I was so lowly and like minion and just do what they said in this whole world. It was just all these editors were so glossy, and even all their assistants were so glossy. It was just, I just kind of, I'm such a goody two shoes that I kind of did what I was told to do, and I wouldn't dare like try on these amazing gowns.
What a shame, because I mean, how incredible.
I know.
But would you say your style evolved during that time when you saw all those sort of very glossy editors?
Yeah, definitely. And I was at Russian Vogue for a while as well, and they were all
They were
very
super
chic
glam.
in there. Yeah. I remember like Gabrielle Hackworthy, she was on Vogue Australia, I think, at the time, and Anya Zirova, and they were just, Sophia Neofita, they were so chic and like full stilettos every day, and all very a lot of preen. Do you remember all those kind of bandagey?
And Soph used to wear a lot of Alaya.
Yeah, exactly.
Head to toe Alaya.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And actually her look is polar opposite of what I would love to be able to do that, but I can't. So I would often try and do it, and then because you're running around as an assistant, you're not kind of, I couldn't make it, I couldn't do it. But the idea of it and the excitement and I lived in Topshop. I was a circus and constantly kind of trying on new things, and it was just dreamy. But
And that was an era where Topshop was really top of its game.
yeah, it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I remember like those Kate Moss collections, that first one, the excitement and it was amazing. But I don't think it necessarily shaped how I dress now, but it definitely kind of deepened that love and fascination I have with that world.
Yeah. Because then you moved with your husband or now husband,
Yeah.
Charlie, to Provence.
To South France, yeah.
Going from Hanover Square,
Yeah.
effectively every day,
Yeah.
to the middle of
To a
rural
vineyard.
Yeah.
Very different.
Very different. So what were you wearing then?
I was wearing a lot of antique Edwardian, wafting around, basically in 90s.
And were those ones that you'd sourced locally at sort of local brocante fairs?
Yeah,
that
a
sort
lot of
thing?
that. So I think I grew up in Wales, as I said, and there was this amazing shop called Ashman's, and she's this incredible lady called Diane Ashman. She had this little vintage shop filled with Edwardian lace stuff, and I'd started wearing it from quite a young age. I've got this amazing Edwardian wedding dress. Have you ever seen those? Kind of long arms, kind of a bit
Beautiful,
high neck.
yes.
Exquisite.
And you're little enough to fit into that
Some
Edwardian
of them,
silhouette.
yes. And those kind of the one with the shorts, that you'd have little poppers underneath. And I basically wore that the whole time. Kind of very Picnic at Hanging Rock, kind of very loose.
And there's something so gorgeous about that old cotton, isn't it?
the cotton lawn, it's just so...
And it just gets better and better
Yeah.
and better until
Yeah.
it just disintegrates.
Yeah, exactly. They're kind of on their last legs now, but I have a really good collection of that. So it was mostly, the winter months, it was like it is here, it's cold. But the summer, from kind of May to October, I was in Edwardian lace.
Oh, how beautiful.
90s, yeah.
How beautiful. And you're now based in the Cotswolds.
Yeah, I am.
So, and you travel extensively for work, don't you?
Yeah.
Let's just talk about work for a moment. So you're this world-renowned floral designer, travelling around the world, doing beautiful weddings and events and all of that. Just tell me what else is going on in Willow's world.
Okay, so it's kind of, my job is to split up into my events. So that's like installing actual flowery things. So it might be working with brands. It might be, so it's been Chelsea Flower Show week. So I did lots of workshops. I teach a lot of floristry, installations like decorating outside of shops and things. So I have the floristry side, and then I have an online magazine called The Seedling.
Yes.
I have a shop, which is on my website, which is lots
Hello,
of product.
your beautiful candle
Hello,
that
my
you've just
candle.
bought. But gorgeous mixture of product.
Yeah, and so what I'm working on now is kind of designing lots more collections. It's always been quite bitty. I'm such a magpie. I'm like, I see that. Oh my God, I need to have that in my shop. But now I've got this amazing new girl on board, and she's helping me develop proper collections. So as of Christmas onwards, they'll be proper. So it's kind of lots of table linens and vases. It started with vases and secateurs, all the stuff that I couldn't find out there. And yeah, so that's growing, very colourful, lots of stripes and flowers and stuff I love. So that's a lot of my time. So my shop, my magazine, my events. I have an online floristry course with Create Academy, which is great.
I saw that.
I'm sure I'm missing things.
And then I noticed that you're in part of your blog, or is it The Seedling?
Yeah.
You sort of curate little packages of looks.
Yeah. So I love that. So when I went to London School of Fashion, I did fashion promotion, and I basically made a magazine. So as I said at the beginning, I love magazines, and that's basically what The Seedling is. It's kind of all the stuff I love. So women's wear, health, lifestyle, fashion, and we create these edits of stuff that I've seen around and about and I love. Yeah. And then that's my other part. I do collaborations with brands, so design.
Yes, which is what I want to ask you about, because you've done two now with
Two
Brora,
with Brora, yep.
And how does that work?
So Brora, Victoria Stapleton, who is Miss Queen of Brora, I think came to me and said, let's do a collaboration together. I'd done a few other bits, kind of like wallpapers and rugs and jewels and things. And I've always loved Brora. It's kind of one of the brands that I grew up with as a kind of real special treat. And I genuinely love it. And so we did a spring-summer collection. And I kind of would create all these mood boards and ideas of stuff I love and then send them over to Victoria, and a lot of toing and froing, and then get to the stage of samples. And I go to Stevenage where they are and mess around with them, kind of cut them up, all that kind of stuff.
And did you do a big try on there?
Yeah, lots of trying on. So I'd be there with them for a bit, and then as we got further down the line, they'd send them to me. We'd go back and forwards on FaceTime and things, and it was just fascinating, that whole process. And then we did another one. We did a winter one, which was the last one we did, and I absolutely love it. It's just that the collaborating with brands, learning new skills, that's my favourite.
The creative collaboration is just a lovely journey, isn't it?
It's so fun.
Just pinging ideas around. I love that.
Me too.
What would be your dream fashion collaboration after Bora?
After Bora, I'm aiming seriously high. Adidas.
Oh, yes.
Gucci.
Really?
That mad colour. I'm very like more is more.
No, but is that not Alessandra Michele?
Yes, yes, maybe.
So maybe that's a Valentino thing. Just a thought.
Just a thought.
I think if we throw it out there, you never know what might come back.
No, Adidas I would love. That would be...
Because you love your sneakers.
I love them so much. Yeah. One of my, again, really early memories buying, they were these yellow tuned air Nikes, and getting them and just sleeping with them by my bed. And it's so tragic.
And do you ever, because I always think of you as sort of customizing things and changing, do you ever customize your sneakers?
I don't, because more and more I buy, I've got these amazing, I think Wales Bonnet Adidas ones, and they've got this incredible stitching around the back. And so they're kind of
gorgeous, aren't they?
Yeah, and I'm very drawn to all that kind of, the detail and bits, even if it's like a tiny dot on a T-shirt or a little red stitch or something. So I've got one of my best friends, Alex Brown, is an incredible knitwear designer. And I am constantly like building up a stack of stuff that's been eaten by moths that I'm going to give to her, because she does all the little designs to repair and things. So I have aims to do that, but myself, no. Although we've got this big, like, what do they call it? Like a poof, in the middle of a room, a coffee table, and it's upholstered in this old blue and white stripe. That was so beautiful, but the story of my life is so impractical, with 3 boys kind of climbing all over it all the time. And it's completely ripped everywhere. And I don't have the time and energy to kind of get it re-upholstered and taken away. So I've stitched it all in this thick red stitching.
I love that.
It looks completely mad, but it's great.
Proper visible mending. Celebrate it rather than I always talk about as elevating rather than relegating.
Yeah.
Because it is. It's just, and then you take it on a whole new chapter.
Totally.
Which I love.
Me too.
Coming back to sneakers.
Yes.
How many pairs do you own?
Oh God, I don't even count, because I would not want to tell you.
Confessional.
30
to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40?
Probably 30-ish.
Yeah, 30-ish.
And I
think
have
that's
them in
probably
boxes.
closer to 50. You have them in boxes?
Well, I have this issue where I can't bear having the same as people. So often, if I'm really obsessed with one and they're, how they go through trends, I will then not wear them, put them in a box, and then get them out in a year, 2 years' time when no one will have them.
Which would be your desert island sneaker?
Probably these ones.
Which are currently off your feet. They are gorgeous.
I fought so hard to get those. They're a limited edition one.
Of course. Of course. But coming back to sort of florals, would you have you ever been approached to do a floral print or a floral embroidery or weaves or anything like that?
I've done rugs.
Jacquards. Have you?
Yeah, I've done a long time ago, but she's just with Amy Kent, and she's just bought them out in flat weaves. So those, and I've got a wallpaper collection with Barnaby Gates, which is very floral.
Gorgeous.
It's really pretty, if I do say so myself. So yeah, there is lots of floral, but I kind of, and I don't really, everyone's like, oh, has it got flowers on? But I'm so obsessed with kind of colour and things as well. I kind of don't want to pigeonhole myself into just doing flowery.
Do you wear a lot of floral?
Yeah, I wear a lot. I mean, I'm not today at all, but I wear a lot of print. I opened my cupboard this morning and looked at it, and it's very bright and it's very patterned, very floral, lots of checks, a lot of stripes.
But if you're spending the day in London, do you pare it down at all, or do you go full willow floral?
It will completely depend on my temperature.
On your mood?
On my
your
no,
temperature,
my
your body
temperature, yeah,
temperature.
and the weather. So boring.
Good thing you've got a bra or a cashmere.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I think the brighter the better. I think it's so, it just makes me feel so much better if I'm wearing colour and print.
Would you call yourself a mood dresser?
Yeah, definitely.
Do clothes elevate your mood?
100%, definitely.
Let's just talk about your wedding dress for a moment.
Okay.
Because I've seen gorgeous pictures of you on your wedding day. Can you tell me about it?
Yeah, so it was a Vera Wang sample that I'd seen. I went to Brands, just amazing. You remember it was filled with
it was beautiful.
And I tried it on in there, and it had a black sash at the time. It was a strapless kind of silk, kind of pleated almost the whole way down, huge skirt, strapless. And I fell in love with it. And then it was thousands and thousands of pounds. It's just not going to happen. Yeah. And then I got invited to a sample sale like 2 weeks later.
Oh my God.
And it was in there. And I called my parents. I said, oh my God, I found my dress. Because she'd been with my mum, been with me. I was like, I found it. And it was like an 18th of the price. It had just been worn on a few shoots.
Oh,
and so we got it. And it was like probably the second dress I tried on. And then we changed the sash from black to light blue. And then all my little bridesmaids wore little same kind of cream dress. I think we got on like John Lewis or something with little cream, with the same colour sash as me.
Sweet.
Flowers in my hair. Like
I was going to say you had that beautiful flower crown, didn't you?
Full flower crown.
Now, who made that?
A friend of my parents. And then my mum and my aunt did all the flowers at home. We had a kind of dinner in the evening.
How gorgeous.
Made these kind of big oak tree things.
Had you always intended to have flowers on your hair?
I'd never really pictured it that much. I mean, I was so young. I lived.
How old were you?
I was 25, and
That
I
is
lived.
young.
Yeah, and my friends weren't even thinking about it. And I lived in France, and my parents kind of did everything. I mean, I like to think I was quite hands off, but my mum sent me a text going, "The drama with your wedding dress." I can't remember any of it. I thought I was quite undiverish, but
what was the drama with your wedding dress?
I can't remember. I think it was the hysteria about not being able to have this wedding dress. I can't really remember. I kind of blotted it out, I think. But
what shoes did you wear?
Oh, the most magical Louboutin. I've never owned a Louboutin in my life. Like ice blue to match the sash.
Oh, beautiful.
Little mules. The most uncomfortable things I've ever worn. And I went on my honeymoon for 3 weeks, and I couldn't wear shoes until the last day of my honeymoon because I had the worst blisters.
Christian, I hope you're listening.
They were probably too small. I probably bought them just because I loved them. They didn't even fit me. They're probably totally the wrong size.
When do you feel that you really sort of found your style DNA? Who you are?
I don't think I have. I think I know what I love, but it's funny asking that question. I kind of thought about it the last few days. I'm so erratic, and it changes from day to day. So I know that I know what clothes I'm drawn to. Like I have a uniform that I wear kind of day to day, which is a baggy jean or a kind of a flare like this and a navy jumper and a white T-shirt. And then in the winter I'll wear a mini skirt, a thick black tie and a biker boot. I know that that's what I'm going to wear.
But then that's really your style DNA.
Yeah, I guess it is.
But with the magpie effect drawn in.
Yeah, and then if I go out, I'll kind of... I'm very drawn to mad colour. So like of the evening, if I've got a special party or something, I'll go to like Beatikins, my guilty pleasure, and Double J. So I have these incredible Double J suits, I call them. They're like a top with fluffy feathers around the bottom and then crop trousers and a matching. And they're just so comfortable, easy to wear, joyful, and I just feel really good in them. Yeah. And they've become like a uniform. Yeah. I love them. Yeah.
They are joyful, aren't they?
They really are.
Are accessories important to you?
Yeah, very, and more actually. A jewellery, I think, can elevate something so much. Kind of giant gold hoop, and I've got some great kind of costume rings I love. There's this amazing French designer called, I'm probably going to say it wrong, Charlotte Chesnay. Have you come across her stuff? Yeah. Very architectural kind of, and I always think I'm kind of finished when I put all that.
No. Cheeky question, but do you buy your own jewellery?
None of this. Charlie has always given me a piece of jewellery for the last 5 years for a birthday or a Christmas.
That you have suggested he might want to give to you?
Very often not.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
he's amazing.
wonderful.
He really is amazing at it. He knows what I love, and so all of this is all from Sophie Theakston, who I love all of her stuff. So he's in pretty kind of safe hands, knowing.
Because it's a lovely sort of eclectic style that she has.
Exactly.
That's slightly boho, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And her as a kind of person, like her clothes and everything, it's very similar to what I love. Lots of kind of vintage, those kind of paper thin Indian gauze dresses.
Yeah.
That's my kind of summer wardrobe, and she loves all that too. So he will kind of email her and say, okay, it's Willow's birthday, I'm thinking this, and she might say, oh, I think with this ring, that was my 40th. She suggested that, but no, he does it all himself.
I'm impressed. Good on you, Charlie.
I know.
Good on you, Charlie. Would you say you've got a style icon?
Not someone in particular. I'm very drawn to kind of 70s, like Penny Lane and Almost Famous. That kind of vibe, Woodstock. That is my go-to look that I love.
Were you very influenced by your mother's style?
Yeah, she's super chic and has always loved fashion. And when I was younger, I didn't get it because there was lots of kind of checks, and now it's identical. Everything I love is all stuff like paisley and checks and tartans.
It's funny, this comes up time and again, that we didn't appreciate our mother's chicness at the time. Yeah. And then in retrospect, it was like, my God, she nailed it.
Yeah, all the time.
That's brilliant. If someone were to describe your style DNA in 3 words, what would you want those 3 words to be?
God, what would I want them to be? Chic. I think I'm colourful, eclectic.
That's one word that immediately springs to mind for you.
Okay. I think I'm flowing. I guess I'm allergic to anything structural, or like I can't wear a shirt. I feel really kind of prim and proper. So I think kind of loose lines and flowy would sum me up more. That hasn't really answered your question, has it?
Yes, it has. I'm just fascinated by where this sort of almost clothing claustrophobia comes from.
It's so weird, isn't it?
Were you sort of trussed up in a school uniform?
Yeah, school uniform. I'm from tiny.
But was it
not actually. One school I went to, on a Sunday, we had to wear these awful, like, ruffled collars, which I was allergic to. I think because it was tight.
There you go. That
but it
could
was
be
so
a tiny
rare,
bit of it.
No, I'm like that in my kind of everyday life as well. Like if I'm hemmed into something with even if it's conversation or a space, I just need to be free, and so in every sense of the word.
So you're not a mad keen scuba diver, I take it.
Oh my God.
I know. I'm with you there.
No. Do you hate it too? Awful.
Yeah. No, not for me. Would you say being stylish is important to you?
Yeah, I really care about, I think because I love clothes so much, if I'm in a bad outfit or bad hair, but those days I feel rubbish.
Yeah.
So I think it is. It can make you feel so much better. Yeah.
Are you a planner of what you're going to wear in a week ahead?
Absolutely.
No, I can see you're
Absolutely not. No, I'm at shambles all the time.
But do you work out what you're going to put on before you put it on, or do you get into your wardrobe and have a try?
Yeah, no, I will. It's very last minute. If I've got a big party or something, I will then think ahead of time, but it's completely how I feel. One day I might feel I can wear a slinky dress, and the other day I want to be wearing a kind of full-on tent, and so it's as it comes.
Has your style changed dramatically being a mother?
I think it pretty much coincided with moving to the country, and my job is very physical. It's very outdoor, and it's the same thing, I guess, as having children. And with 3 boys, we're outside a lot and playing some sort of sport. So it's got to be practical and 5,000 layers. Every day of my life, apart from today, I wear a long sleeve merino wool like layer.
Proper layer.
Yeah, and I probably wear like 6 layers all day long.
But how do you stay warm doing what you do,
don't.
floristry, outside?
I'm freezing most of the time, but I have a lot of baths. It's the only way I can reheat.
Yeah.
But a lot of
So you don't
layers.
use sort of little heat packs or those heated gilets that
I've
you
only
can
just
get?
learnt about those.
They're brilliant.
Are they?
Absolutely.
Are they nice?
Brilliant.
Chic?
Wear them underneath. Let's just put it there.
Okay.
No, I mean, they're like a sort of, you can get some quite nice sort of puffery ones.
Can you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, it's a lot of layering, and I love a good coat. I think one of my other guilty pleasures is shoes and coats and baskets.
So where would your coats, where are your favourite coat sources?
I got one for Christmas from Wiggy Kit that I love, which is this huge like cape, a grey and white houndstooth. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
It's like a kind of blanket.
Yeah.
And then I did a couple for Brora kind of blanket
I
coats.
saw those. Now, was that inspired by anything?
Well, I have quite a few myself. It's basically like I've rolled on the picnic blanket.
But it's gorgeous. I
Yeah.
love the fringing on those.
Yeah, so I have lots of kind of long ones of them, and they just make me so happy. And we've made some kind of shorter ones. So a lot of blanket coats. I once bought this, probably my most exciting thing I've ever bought was this Anya High-March coat I got in Bicester Village, and it's absolutely mad. My husband's like, that is you in a coat. It's it's this kind of longish cape, you know, when it kind of puffs out at the back, and it's covered in Swarovski crystal like patches. So I've got a donut, a cigarette, one of those kind of computer gadget things, and it's got fried egg on the collar. And it is barking mad, and it's so joyful. I love it. So yeah, I think a coat, I can wear all my hundreds of layers underneath and a kind of a pair of jeans and then a great coat on top.
Yeah.
And
heated socks.
About 5 pairs, but I should investigate heated
You
socks.
so should.
Do they work too?
Oh my God, they are brilliant.
I can't believe I don't know about this.
Well, you're probably not a skier because you hate the cold.
I am.
You
I'm
are.
a bad. My family are. The boys all love it. I'm behind them already.
Now, talking about the boys, they're now perhaps reaching an age where do they have an opinion on their mother's clothing or not?
My little one, Kit, he's so sweet. He'll come and sit with me when I'm getting dressed, saying, "No, Mum, I think you should wear these and those and those." And
Oh, how lovely.
they're very sweet. They'll say, "Gosh, you look nice."
Oh.
But they all care about what they wear. Wolf, my oldest one, I haven't been able to dress since he was about 6 months old. I mean, he's very particular. They're all very much they love clothes too.
I love that evolving in a child when that sort of kicks in, because it can kick in. I have a nephew who it kicked in literally when he was a baby.
Really?
Yeah, no, absolutely knew what he would or wouldn't.
And is he quite dressed? Is he like into tracksuits like the rest of them, or is he?
No. But I mean, he's not super into fashion, but he's very particular
He knows
about
what he
he
wants.
likes and what he doesn't like.
Yeah, mine are the
Rue,
same.
I love you. When you're in your wardrobe deciding what you're going to wear, do you ever start with one particular one particular item that you really want to wear, and then you build around that?
Yeah, I probably will. Again, depending on, I guess, what I'm doing. It's normally a trouser, a bottom half, because I find that's the harder bit, and then I've got to tuck in my thermals. I think I'm trying to improve my trouser wardrobe. So I live in these. They're very fine needle cord flares, and they are from this amazing girl. She's called La Lama, Lydia, and she just stopped making them. She was a girlfriend of a really old friend of mine, and I've got them in pink, I've got them in navy, and they are the most comfortable, brilliant things.
Because I always feel very strongly that actually cutting a trouser or a jean right is an absolute science.
Yeah.
I think it's as big a science as cutting a bikini.
Do you?
And it's down to the millimetres.
Completely.
Yeah.
And I've bought so many. I'm weirdly of quite an odd shape, so I find jeans really hard. I've got a really long bottom, so I can look like a
Much
sausage.
information,
Sorry.
perhaps, but
I can look like a sausage. I loathe the skinny jean.
I cannot imagine how you would look like a sausage, for goodness sake.
You know, when skinny jeans, you look like sausage legs. Well, anyway.
Well, you're not wearing those anymore,
No,
are you?
I've never done a skinny well. But yeah, I think the perfect jean is life-changing. I really do.
I totally agree. In fact, we were laughing about that earlier.
Yes,
Pounds per wear on
Exactly.
on anything. Do you find yourself justifying things pound per wear?
Oh, all the time. All the time.
Oh my goodness. Do you think you've got a guilty secret in terms of brands? Is there one brand that you think it's expensive but
Yes, Vitakin every time.
Vitakin?
Have you met them?
I haven't.
Oh my God. So they're, she's Ukrainian, and they're these amazing kind of folky dresses, and they're all hand embroidered.
Yeah, they're beautiful, but I've never met them.
Exquisite.
Yeah.
And every kind of big job I do, I will then save a bit and get one of them. And I think I've got 4 or 5. And if there's ever a sale, I will buy them. I've got amazing skirts in them.
Obviously, you do some very high-profile jobs. Quite a lot for fashion brands.
Yeah.
Are you expected, when you go and do a Ralph job, are you expected to wear Ralph for that?
Not when I'm actually working, unless they're filming us while we work. And actually, yes, so for Ralph, yes. But then if I'm kind of doing a Dior event or something, they might put me in if I go to the event afterwards that I've dressed, if that makes sense.
That's such a chore, isn't it?
It's
In a
awful.
deal.
Poor me.
Poor you. Okay, guilty secret. What's the most expensive item of clothing that you have bought? I'm not asking for the price.
I think Avita, definitely, hands down.
And how long ago was that? Last week?
I don't think I bought one for a year or so. They're kind of like every 2 years thing, because they are another level, but they bring me so much joy.
But yes, and that is so important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I think clothes just impact how we feel about ourselves. And I know that you've been very open about sort of postpartum and all of that. Do you think you ever used clothes during that time to lift your mood?
I think I was, when it was really bad, no, all I wanted to do was wear a tracksuit, and I don't think, and maybe if I was having a good day, then I'd put on a nice jumper, a colour maybe, but no, I think it was when it was bad, I didn't have the energy to put it into looking nice.
I
Does that make sense?
totally get that.
Yeah.
But then when you started to get more joy into your life,
Yeah.
did fashion or clothes help elevate that energy at all?
Yeah, because I think it's then waking up one morning and going, oh, do you know what? I'm going to put you on. You're my nice outfit, and rediscovering that I actually could feel joyful again was, I guess, clothes is quite a good starting. It was quite a good starting point. Yeah.
I love the way you talk about you, because I've noticed in your floral tutorials, you talk about her, talking about the flower, her, and she's going to go there. It's almost like you have this little world.
They are my babies. Yeah.
He's and she's. And
Yeah.
Do you have any male flowers?
No, maybe a cactus.
They're all. Ouch!
No.
Goodness. Let's talk about sustainable fashion. What's your approach to that?
So I think more recently, I'm definitely more aware of it, because in floristry is a really unsustainable business. So I'm very aware of it there, and I practice sustainable floristry.
Now, what is sustainable floristry? While we're on.
A little thing would be floral foam. You know those big green blocks, it's called Oasis. So that is terrible for the environment. It doesn't decompose.
Yeah.
So in its place, we have flower frogs and we have chicken wire. So that would be a very simple step. So I do that. I won't use foam anymore.
Yeah.
So when I started, that's all we used.
Yeah.
So then with clothes, I never throw anything away. I buy secondhand all the time.
Favourite vintage haunts?
Vestiaire Collective. Does that count?
That's a cheap one. It's not exactly the local charity shop, Willow.
And my one in Welshpool, Ashman's, I love.
And that's a good vintage find place.
I haven't been for a while, but it used to be incredible.
Yeah.
I remember Amanda Harlett always used to go, from Chanel. She used to be there all the time. It's tiny, literally middle of a Welsh town. I don't really go to, I love a charity shop. I love that excitement of, I don't have a good one, but it's nothing better than finding something good in just on the off chance, but we don't have any around us properly.
And so vestiaire, and are you a vintage girl or
Depop? A lot of Depop. My boys are on Vinted, obsessed, and I sell a lot on there. I buy a lot on there, and for children's clothes, it's because they're now all wearing kind of my size, and men's wear just kind of extra small. So a lot of that.
So a lot of circularity.
A lot of that,
in that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you really treasure your clothes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really do.
How
They bring me a
lovely.
lot of joy.
How lovely. Now, you're in front of the camera a lot in your little tutorials.
Yeah.
Are you very aware of what you're wearing for your filming? Because it always feels so effortless, Willow.
It's literally my phone propped up against a flower pot. It's not.
Amazing.
It's.
But what you're wearing always feels so effortless. You look like you're really at home and at ease in your clothes.
It has to be comfortable what I'm doing, and when I'm making videos, I will, if I've done a collaboration or something, I will wear those. But it's genuinely stuff that I just love and do wear from every day. I kind of, obviously I want to look nice in them, but there's not a huge amount of time and planning that goes into them at all.
But as an influencer, which I hate that word, but let's face it, you are, as well as a lot of other far more important things, you must get sent an awful lot of goods.
Yeah.
How do you handle that side of things?
I find it's different now because a lot of time the brands will write to you and say, can I send you this? Whereas in the beginning they would just send things.
Yeah.
And if I don't like it, I will politely decline and just say it's just not very me, or because I just think it's just a waste. And if someone's so kind enough to send me something, it has to be something that I can then help them by wearing it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm so fussy. I won't wear something I don't like. So it's just really exciting to be sent nice things. I'm so lucky.
Well, have you discovered new brands through being sent things?
They're mostly stuff that brands that I have known already, although a lovely Australian brand that I now can't remember the name messaged me this morning that I had never heard of, kind of floaty nighties, kind of right up my street. But no, so far I've pretty much known them. Lots of beauty brands. I love beauty, and that's kind of that's what I did at Tatler. So that often I'm discovering things that I've never heard of before. So that's really exciting.
Now, I have to ask you this because you're working with your hands all the time.
Yes.
And you're outside and all the rest of it. So let's talk beauty for a second. Yep. Hair, makeup, manicures.
Yeah.
How do you approach all of that?
Okay, so hair, I have this incredible girl called Amelia Smith who comes to my kitchen, and we do colour every 6 weeks.
Love colour in the kitchen. It's the best.
It really is. So good. So I do that. And then nails are, oh God, as and when I can. I've been filming quite a lot recently for a project, and I had to have nice nails. So I put shellac on, but I've now done 2 rounds and they're destroyed. So now this is, we were talking about it earlier, that Essie, what's it called?
Gel couture.
Gel couture. And it,
brilliant.
I'm on day, I mean, they need to be redone, but I'm on day 10 and it's amazing. But yes, and then skincare, beauty, I love. I work with Eve Lom a lot, who I genuinely love.
Yeah.
Dermalogica, I love. And then I've just discovered this brand called Code 8. Have you heard of this?
Oh, I have.
It's beauty.
Yes.
I don't really know kind of too much about it, but they've sent me this amazing box of all their little bits. I think it's meant to be not too many products, so it gets confusing. I love their foundation. Is incredible. It's really light.
Bathing is obviously quite a ritual for you to just warm up.
Yeah.
Anything in particular in your baths?
I love a Jo Malone, red roses. Votary, I love. And Olverum.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
Absolutely lovely.
Delicious.
And do you have sort of bathing rituals that just get you into the zone of just warming up at the end
just
of
like burning hot? Often the boys will get an after and they're like, oh my God, it's like burning. No, so I just have to burn myself hot and then I am warm for a good few hours.
Let's turn to some quick fire questions. Okay. What fashion advice would you give your 20-year-old self?
Oh God. Don't take yourself too seriously.
Which fashion trend would you like to see make a comeback?
70s.
That comes up again and
Does
again
it?
and again. Which fashion or beauty trend would you consign to Room 101?
Skinny jeans.
Views on tattoos.
I've got one. Awful. And I wish to God I had not done it.
Beauty treatment you couldn't give up.
I've got this amazing Dermalogica SPF 50 that I swear by. It's amazing.
High end or high street?
Bit of both.
Bling or bear?
Bear.
Minimalism or maximalism?
Maximalism.
Couture or charity shop?
Oh, I wish couture, but charity shop.
Crocs, cute or puke?
Hideous. My boys wear them. Oh,
Sneakers or stilettos?
sneakers.
Oh, I should ask you, sambas or gazelles?
Gazelles.
Bags or shoes?
Both.
Boyfriends or wide legs?
Oof. Both, again. Probably a wide leg.
Bodycon or boho?
Boho.
Sports luxe or rock chick?
Sports luxe.
Red carpet or relax?
Relax.
Trend or style?
Style.
Colour or monochrome?
Colour.
Experimental or uniform?
Experimental.
Cashmere or cotton?
Oh, both.
Hoarder or editor?
Hoarder.
Shapewear or sexy lingerie?
Sexy lingerie.
Tights or stockings?
Tights.
Bikini or one piece?
Oh, bikini.
Beanie or berry?
I love both. I live in both.
And finally, at the end of the day, what do you or don't you wear in bed?
I'd love to say nothing, but I'm so cold, so I wear like full. I've got these amazing Desmond and Dempsey like bandana print, like faded indigo pajamas. So winter I'll wear those, and then I've got this beautiful, like I want to say it's like La Perla little silk nightie, which when I was growing up I thought was what you would do when you were grown up, and so now I do it. So I'm official grown up.
I love that. Willow, thank you. You've been an incredible guest. I've loved our conversation.
Thank you so much for having me. Such a joy to be here. Thank you.
Joyful to have you here.
Thank you.